Happy Saturday morning. Kim said, I heard you in the basement, so she took that Halloween wreath down. Okay, where's the Thanksgiving wreath? Yeah, I know. I guess this is just wear and tear. Our dogs don't do that. I don't know what that is. I think it's just maybe sun coming through. We got to get that restained. All right, it's a beautiful day, said. It's a beautiful day, said Herman Munster. It's rainy. All right, breaking news in the garage area. Big news out of Phoenix. First of all, let's start with the big one. Michael Jordan and that 2311 team that he owns, him and Denny Hamlin. And Front Row Motorsport, they are 0-3, everybody. You know, this is a strange phenomenon because, you thought they might have had something, but go back through all my videos. I'm right again. Herman's right again. And like I say, it's not important for me to be right. It doesn't do me any good. But when I'm right all the time, like I am, it makes me look good. I hate it for him. But I said, man, be careful. NASCAR's got friends in Washington, D.C. They know what they're up to. Richard Petty and the gang, they tried this stuff years ago. But the injunction failed. The judge ruled yesterday on Friday. So right now, Michael Jordan, 2311 and Front Row, they are 0-3. It means they have tried to go against NASCAR while they sued them 3 times, and they've lost all 3 times. Now, the lawsuit still goes on, but the injunction did not happen. They are not allowed to keep their charter if this court case keeps going into next year. So once January 1st hits, they do not have a charter. And we've gone over this 1,000 times. What is a charter? A charter means that you make a lot more money in NASCAR and you're locked in every race. So it's still going to court. Calm down, I know. My God, it's still going to court. But if you read the papers, they're not going after anything. They just want NASCAR to redo their charter system. They just feel like the teams need more money. But right now, 2311 and Front Row sent out a beautiful comment. It basically says, hey, full steam ahead. We're going to Daytona with a charter or without. And I'm like, damn. That means they got to qualify. That means if there's 43 cars, they only start in 40. And, 9 times out of 10, they're going to make every race. Because here's why. There's not that many teams in NASCAR. It's very expensive to buy a car. Those cars are a lot of money. We're talking like $350,000, $250,000, over $250,000, okay? So nobody's lined up to buy a car and go to Daytona. Joe Bob here in St. Louis is not going to spend $250,000 on a car and then put a motor in it. Now we're $350 and go to Daytona. It costs a lot of money. So 2311 in Front Row, they're just going to miss out on a lot of money. But they're going to have a lot of heartache because when they go to Daytona, they're not going to have a charter. And that means they got to put a lot of effort into qualifying. But if only 40 cars show up, then they're locked in. And I assume every single race next year, there will not be over 40 cars. I'm making that call right now. But who knows? Because I know RFK, Brad Keselowski, and them, they're talking about starting another team. So if RFK, Roush Fenway, Keselowski, if they start another team, that means more cars. So I don't know. Let's watch that. Let's see if more cars come into NASCAR. So, hey, I'm gonna crack a little joke right now. NASCAR's doing so bad that Brad Keselowski is going to start another team up. Boy, NASCAR, we're losing so much money that we're going to start another team up, says Brad Keselowski. Then you got these guys over here suing NASCAR because they say it's a monopoly. So, listen, I understand Denny Hamlin and I understand Michael Jordan. They just want a bigger piece of the pie, and I'm not condemning them whatsoever. I said that these guys are great athletes. They're used to dealing with, other sports. So anyway, I just brought you up to date. The injunction did not go through. I gave you my opinion, what that means. I cracked a couple jokes, so that's that. All right, let's take a drink of coffee. Yesterday in Phoenix, it was the State of the Union address by NASCAR. They do it every year. Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps, the two Steves, they rule NASCAR. And Steve O'Donnell said, I might get in trouble saying this, but what happened at Martinsville really pissed NASCAR off, pissed me off, is what he said. That's what Steve O'Donnell said. Okay? I didn't say that. Steve O'Donnell said what happened at Martinsville really pissed us off, meaning NASCAR. And here's why. Because the race was perfect until all the blocking and the riding the wall happened. And then NASCAR had to respond to what the drivers did. Now, NASCAR said we had a big phone call with the automakers, not OEM. I think he might have used that. So, NASCAR did have a meeting with the automakers and told them, you're done. Quit that stuff. We got all the audio. We hear you all. We see you all. I said it on Coffee with Kenny yesterday. NASCAR's got their own TV building. They can hear everything you all are saying now. So they're going to start doing hand signs. When your driver comes off the corner, a guy's going to be out there going, you know what that means, right? Did you see me? NASCAR can hear and see everything now because they got their own TV building down there. And everybody's heard about that new TV communications building. So NASCAR's able to run through everything. Guys, you aren't hiding anymore. Racing Electronics is not going to provide you a separate channel and all that. And even if you do, they still can see what's up. They said today, right now, today, Saturday, they're going to have a big powwow with the drivers. And I think they've already made that message. I think everybody knows what NASCAR is going to say. Steve O'Donnell says they're going to tell the drivers, don't even listen to anybody anymore. That was your one chance. NASCAR said the reason they did not fine Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, or Austin Dillon, the reason they didn't fine them is because they're being told what to do by the automakers and their spotters, and the drivers are just doing what they're told to do because that's who they get paid. They get paid by the automakers. The automakers pays Richard Childress, and Richard pays his grandson, Austin. So you follow the money, and the drivers are doing what they're told to do. So they said, but this was their only warning. They're not giving the drivers a break ever again. And that's what they said. I think in ending, I want to congratulate Ty Majeski. How about that? Ty Majeski wins the truck championship. He is the most hardcore, winningest short track driver. So Ty Majeski wins the truck championship. His story is incredible. After the race, Ty Majeski goes to the media center. Now this guy, Ty Majeski's won every short track race there is. There's no more for him to do. I once asked him, I said, man, how come you ain't moving up the chain? How come you ain't in the Xfinity Series at least? And he just kind of shrugged his head. This guy, he's kind of like a Stuart Friesen. Stuart Friesen wins all them dirt races. Stuart Friesen goes back to run the center steer mods up there in New York, and I mean just thrashes them. He just did it. Stuart Friesen goes and wins another $50,000 to win, starting last, and he's still in the truck series. Ty Majeski wins everything there is, and he's still in the truck series. But Ty Majeski's story, I got to end like this. Ty says, I win like the 2020 Snowball Derby. Like, he wins the biggest short track race ever. And you're figuring, Dale Jr., somebody's going to call this guy. Thor Sports, the big truck team, they call him. They don't offer him a ride. They said, would you like to be our truck engineer? They called it 2020 Snowball Derby champion. They call him and they say, hey, would you like to come work for us? We need an engineer. So kids, let this be a lesson. He was a diamond in the rough. And look at that. A diamond is like a rock. And then when you get it, you cut on it, you polish it up. And that's what happened with Ty Majeski. He bet on the come. And the betting on the come means, I think I'll go take this engineering job and I might get in one of those trucks. And look at him now. So sometimes when you're trying to get to the top, you got to start at the bottom. So congratulations to Ty Majeski. One hell of a race car driver. So, and yes, I picked Corey Heim to win it. I picked Corey Heim to win it. I'm not going to apologize. I was not wrong. I just wasn't right. He messed up. He started fifth, and I guess he when you pass this, here's the rule. I know this rule. You've got to get past the start-finish line before you pull out a line. What Corey Heim did is he pulled out a line before the start-finish line. And NASCAR don't like that short track stuff where everybody's every which way. You got to go past the start-finish line, in line, unless somebody misses a shift or they can really see. So he pulled out a line. He went from fifth to third, and they put him to the back of the pack. And but Corey was not going to win the championship. He was not fast enough. He said that. Corey Heim said that. He was 0.2 slower every lap than Ty Majeski. Ty Majeski flat whipped their butts. All right, everybody, I broke it all down. I think I told you about the big meeting, told you about the big lawsuit. I told you about the injunction with Michael Jordan. I told you why, what. Told you about NASCAR saying, listen, we like the playoff system. NASCAR said, we like this playoff system, and we hear you all out there complaining that Kyle Larson's not in. They hear you, but it's a playoff system, guys. You know, and Kyle just didn't go through the playoff system. Hard to have the winningest driver in the Final Four if he didn't make it through the playoff system. All right, woo, this is a long one. NASCAR is the gift that just keeps giving. Once again, it's a beautiful day, said Herman Munster.